What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a banger of a video. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Drop a like if you do, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Now listen, hope you guys enjoy the gameplay here as well. I kind of decided to switch it up a little bit. I've been playing this Nickelodeon All-Stars game, and it's pretty fun. So let me know in the comments if you guys like it as gameplay or not. I think it's kind of fun to watch, but either way, hope you guys enjoy this one, and without further ado, let's dive right into it. So, this happened fairly recently, actually. This happened in, I want to say this might have even been, this was right before I moved out of my mom's house. So, this was, late 2019. This was, fall 2019. So, this was actually a fairly recent one. And on this particular day, it was a normal day of doing a bunch of cocaine. I wake up, and the first thing on my mind is, how am I getting geeked and who am I doing it with? And of course, a very common occurrence was I would go to Sam's apartment to get geeked. Sam had an apartment where, yeah, he lived there with his mom, but she was never really home and she was usually busy, so we could go over there and get lit. However, there was a bit of an issue that had arisen with Sam's apartment. His mom had recently gotten sick of his shit and installed a bunch of cameras with speakers on them in the house. Now, that's normally not that bad because you'd sit and you'd think, oh, no one's checking their cameras 24 hours a day, so we can still go there and maybe there's a blind spot. I'm telling you guys right now, this woman ran security like that apartment was a cell at Rikers. It was mental. After these cameras went in, all hell broke loose at Sam's house. But this was still early on into the camera days, so we didn't really understand just how wild shit would get once the cameras got installed. So, I pick up Kyle, I go over and I pick him up, and he's going through a coke binge at the same time as myself. You know, him and I, we were kicking it pretty much every day at this point, so if I was doing blow, he was doing it with me, so we were getting fucked up. So I go and I pick him up, and we're riding in the car, and we're trying to figure out what to do, and I'm on Snapchat, and I hit up Sam. Sam's like, yeah, dude, you guys can come over. I'm going to be home all night. My mom's leaving in an hour. Come through. So Sam and I, we decide, let's get a little food in us before we don't eat anything for the next 2 days and we do coke the whole time. So we go and we get ourselves a little bit of Chick-fil-A. And we're going through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. And I think I talked about this in the Coke Chronicles, but there was one day where Kyle was gumming a large amount of Coke in the drive-thru. And he lost the ability to speak without a slur because he couldn't feel his lips or his gums or his teeth. We made it a tradition where now, every time we go to the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, you gotta rub some cocaine on your gums, or else, honestly, you can't go to Chick-fil-A. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules, dude. It's how it has to be. So, of course, we gum ourselves a little bit of blow in anticipation, pardon me, dude, it sounds like I've gummed some blow with the way I'm talking. But either way, we gum some in anticipation of our Chick-fil-A. A bit of a tradition, if you will. It's our culture, respect it. So, we gum our blow and we get up to the window and we get our food. But of course, we've just gummed a bunch of blow. So A, we're not super hungry, and B, it doesn't taste very good. So I didn't even eat my sandwich. I just ate the fries and drank my drink, and that was it. Which, by the way, hey, that Chick-fil-A sweet tea, hey now, that's serious business. Damn, I could really go for a sweet tea right now. All right, let's get back on topic. So, we eat our fries and we're chilling for a little bit, and Sam hits me up and tells us that we're good to come over. The coast is clear. So we ride on over there, and we didn't have a ton of blow, but, we were looking forward to getting more that night anyways. I know that Kyle had money, and I was pretty sure that Sam had money at that point too. The problem is Sam had a bad habit of saying that he had money to throw for things and then last minute bailing out on it. There are countless instances of this. He's a great guy, good friend, but you just can't really do much financial stuff with him. I mean, now you can. He's gotten better with it now. But, at this point in time, no, dude. If he had money, it was gone to the first bidder. Whoever brought any drug in front of him, he's spending all the money on whatever drug that is, dude. It could be crocodile. He's blowing the sack, right? So, we get over to Sam's house, and, we get upstairs. He lives on this, second-level apartment, right? Or I guess it was more of a townhouse, condo, I don't know what you'd call it, but the entrance is on the first story, right? So you walk in, and then you go up the stairs, right? So we get inside, he lets us in, and we walk up his steep-ass stairs, and we're sitting in his living room. And his coffee table was perfect for doing blow, dude. It was smooth. It was great. It was perfect. It was almost meant for getting geeked on. So we're chilling out, and right off the bat, we're like, yeah, boys, we got to get fucked up, dude. Like, we got to get sent out of our minds, you know? So we're sitting here, and we're trying to figure out what else to do on this night. Like, yeah, we've got some coke, but let's have a little more fun, you know? So eventually, we opt to get ourselves some liquor. At this point, Kyle had just turned 21. Like, probably not even a month of being 21. So we were like full alcoholic cocaine binge phase at this point of our lives. We were abusing anything that had an alcohol percentage and anything that you could put up your nose as well. So we all do a couple lines of blow off the table, and we go hop in the car, and we dip out to the liquor store, which is just a couple blocks away. It's me, Sam, and Kyle, and we're vibing, we're bumping some music. We're not too geeked quite yet, though. We're just a little buzzed, and we're ready for a fun night. We've got a little bit of weed with us, but at this point in my life, for those of you guys who are OGs and maybe have been around, you guys might recall that at this point in my life, I smoked way less weed than I usually do because I was doing so much coke. Getting stoned was almost a waste of the blow half the time. So I had a little bit of weed, but it was negligible. I think we smoked like a blunt or two this night, maybe 2 blunts, you know? But either way, we ride over to the liquor store and we send Kyle in to grab us some beers, and he comes on out with the legendary, the Miller High Lifes. You can't go wrong, dude. They're not the best beer in the world, sure, but they're nowhere near the worst. They're good. I like them, and I can get them down. And I will say they're one of the few beers I can drink where I don't throw up. And that's something that I can't say for very many beers. So we get these brews, and we whip on back to Sam's place. We go back upstairs, and we're sitting in his living room, and we're trying to figure out what to do with our night. We end up talking about a girl who I think what should we call her? Let's give her a unique name. You know, let's shake it up for once. Let's call her, oh man, you know what? We're not going to use Ashley for the first time in modern history. We're going to call this girl Alicia. So Sam's sitting there and we're chatting, and Sam's like, man, we should invite Alicia over tonight. And I'm like, why? What's up? And we had recently had this girl over. She was kind of a part of our friend group-ish. Like, we had a lot of mutual friends, right? And Sam got really fucked up and told her that she had perfect feet. And everything got really awkward that night after that. So we were a little hesitant to invite Alicia back over. We're like, you know, Sam, you really fumbled last time. You cannot tell a woman that you've never slept with that she has perfect feet. That makes her very uncomfortable. You just can't do that. I respect a foot connoisseur, do your thing, bro. But you just can't be doing that. Women don't really get horny for that. So he's like, yeah, man, I mean, I still want to have her over, though. You know, yeah, I want to talk to her more. And I'm like, all right, well, why don't I try inviting her or something? So we're chopping up some more blow. We're all getting geeked together. And I'm on Snapchat, and I'm talking to Alicia, and I'm trying to convince her to come over. I'm like, listen, come do some coke with us. We got a little bit of weed. We got some liquor. We're at Sam's place. You know, come back through. And she's talking to me, and she's like, he's going to be weird again, isn't he? Like, he's going to be weird. And I'm like, listen, he was just fucked up. I'm really trying to do Sam a solid. I'm like, listen, he was just fucked up last time. We're just doing a little bit of coke. It's going to be fine. Everything will be cool. He probably won't even flirt with you. Even though, if I'm being totally honest, deep down, Sam was flirting with her. But I had to hold on to that shimmer of hope that he could pull it off, you know, and not totally alienate her from his house forever. So she's like, well, you know what, maybe I'd have to find a ride, you know, I'll get back to you. And she lives like 30, 40 minutes away, so I wasn't really trying to go leave and pick her up, you know, especially after we were about to start drinking and doing blow. I was like, dude, no, we're posted. This is the spot for the night, you know, we're chilling. So we chop up some fat lines. I'm talking giant. Egregious lines. Like, Kyle had a line that was nearly as big as the plate that he put it on. You know, we're all chopping up separately. We divvied up the blow we had. We're chopping up separately. We're getting lit, right? And of course, I was the only one that brought blow, but I'm a man of the people. You know, the homies, they're doing it with me, you know? If you have me at your house, yes, you could do coke with me. And if you're my good friend, yes, you could do coke. So everyone here was doing coke with me, right? So we're all chopping up. We're divvying up our lines and shit. And I'd take a thickie. I'd take a fat-ass line. I'm talking, as soon as I rail this line, the drip slams the back of my throat, dude. I'm like, fuck, bro. It's like a waterfall. For a second, I damn near think my nose is bleeding, but it's running down my throat, except I don't taste any blood. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, bro, like, holy shit, this drip is immense, you know? And this was the blow that I got from my normal guy. So it wasn't normally like this. I guess he must have grabbed it from someone else at this point, but it definitely wasn't as good as his normal shit, right? This drip was hitting the back of my throat. And I'm like, holy fuck. But at the same time, I feel great, right? I feel fantastic. So we turn on Sam's TV, and he's got this new sound bar that he just put under this TV. And we start bumping some music. And Sam has a really big interest in Trippie Redd. Like, this guy loves Trippie Redd, bro. Like, at any given moment, if you hand this dude the remote, he is not 100, like 98% putting on Trippie Redd if you ask him to put a song on. Like, and he'll play the same song back to back to back. No concern at all. If you don't ask him to change it, hell no, dude. He listens to music as if no one else is listening with him, and I respect that about him. So, he puts some music on, and he gets up, and he fills up this cup with some water. And he starts watering the plants around his house, which I think I may have talked about this in a previous video, but Sam, he had a plant in his living room that he was convinced was a banana tree. A real banana tree. Like, he would water this plant. And today was no exception. He would still water this thing today. Like, he pulled up, I remember that it wasn't on this night, but there was a night where we had a conversation about this because he pointed out the banana tree. And I was like, Sam, you think that's a banana tree? Like, do you actually think that's a real banana tree? And he's like, yes, dude, look at the leaves. And he went on Google Images and pulls up a picture of a banana tree and shows it to me. And I'm like, Sam, if you think you have a banana tree potted in your living room in Illinois, I have some crazy ass news for you, dog. Like, but he really, really believed it. And he would water this thing. Like, I thought he was just trolling me at first, but no, like, he would water this shit and take it very seriously. You could only touch the leaves very lightly, and you had to ask him, right? So, we're chilling out, and he's watering these plants, and all of a sudden, I hear a voice. And I think, like, at first I think this is an intro to a song or something, but I hear a voice, and it's yelling. It's like, Sam, what the fuck are you doing having people over? And I'm thinking, like, oh, dude, what a coincidence, dude. They used his name. And then I realized that it's coming from behind me. It's not coming from in front of me. So I'm like, oh, fuck. And I grabbed the remote and I turned the music down a little bit. And Sam didn't hear it at first. I'm like, Sam, dude, someone's yelling at you, bro. And he's like, what do you mean? I look back and I see the camera on the wall. It's lit up. It's like an alarm system and a camera, it looked like, almost combined. Like, I had like a keypad on it and it had these it was a crazy fucking contraption, dude. I don't know what this thing is, but it was lit up. It had like a blue ring around it. So I was like, okay, we're getting snooped on, Your Honor. So I look back, and his mom is on the camera mic going just belligerent, dude. She's like, get these people the fuck out of my house. Why are they doing drugs in my fucking house? And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, okay, it might be time for us to go, you know? So I start kind of reaching for my bag and telling Sam, like, hey, should we go? And Sam's like, no. Trust me, dude, my mom does this all the time, dude. Like, ever since she got these cameras, it's fine, man. It's cool. I'll talk to her. So I'm like, are you sure, dude? And he's like, yeah, dude, don't worry. So he pulls out his phone and he calls his mom. And he, like, goes into the other room to talk to his mom. Kyle and I are sitting in his living room, and we're, like, not sure if we should be doing more coke or packing up and leaving, right? But we're sitting there, and his mom is on the phone, right? With him at this point. So I turn the music back up. I'm like, fuck it, dude. I mean, she can't yell at us. We're not her kids. Like, whatever. Talk to him, you know? So we turn the music back up, you know? A little louder than before. We're chilling out, and we're bumping. We're feeling good. And we decide, you know, she's probably distracted from the cameras. Let's do some more blow, you know? We still had a couple lines pre-chopped in front of us, so fuck it, dude. Let's get geeked. Kyle and I, we each take another line. And Sam comes back out of the room. And he sits down. He's like, it's good, man. Like, it's all good. Like, everything's going to be okay. So we're sitting and we're like, okay, for sure. And we figured, like, he was being for real because his mom wasn't talking over the camera anymore. So we were like, okay, I guess it's resolved. You know, maybe he just told her that we're cool people or something. The way the camera was angled, luckily, I don't think she could see what we were doing on the table, but she could definitely see us drinking. There was beer all over, and she could definitely see us smoking too, you know? So we're sitting there. I'm not talking smoking weed. I'm talking like hitting vapes and shit, you know, and like going out to the balcony for cigarettes because Sam still smokes cigs, right? And actually, at this point, I think Kyle might have too. He went through a brief like cigarette. What do you like a? I don't know, dude. He ran it back on the cigs for a little while. But either way, back on topic. So we're chilling out and we're like, okay, you know, figuring that because the camera was behind us and the Coke was right in front of us at the edge of the table, there's no way she saw it. So she probably just thinks we're having some drinks, which we're all like 20 and 21-year-olds anyways. In fact, I'm pretty sure even Sam was 21 at this point. I think I was the only guy here who wasn't 21, right? Now, at this point, Alicia we'd forgotten about her. The dilemma with the camera was so crazy that we'd forgotten that she ever wanted to come through, right? But she hits me back up and she's like, hey, I could get a ride. Do you want me to come through still? I tell Alicia, I'm like, yeah, absolutely, come the fuck through. So we're sitting there and I tell Sam, I'm like, Sam, dude, Alicia's coming, dude. Like, I convinced her to come. But you can't be weird, dude. Like, she's a good friend. She's a nice girl. I've known her for a while. Like, you gotta be cool, dude. Like, you gotta be cool. And he's like, okay. Like, all right, I'll be chill. Which, I mean, okay, didn't really happen, but that's whatever. He didn't do anything too crazy. He was just a little too into her, and he showed it a little too much, I guess you could say. But either way, we're chilling for probably another, like, 30 minutes or so. And all of a sudden, there is pounding on the door. I'm not talking like, okay, a slight knock. I'm talking, like, banging, like, closed fist, side of your fist on the door, going crazy. I'm sitting here, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And Kyle kind of looks at me, and I look over to Sam, and Sam's like, shit, guys, like, I'll get it. Hold on. So Sam walks down his staircase, and me and Kyle, we go over to the window, to the balcony, right? We look out the balcony window, and we see a cop car pulled up, and we're like, oh, fuck, dude. We're pretty fucking geeked at this point. We haven't even smoked any weed yet. We're geeked out of our minds at this point, though. And we've also had a few beers each, so we're feeling good. But I'm coked out, and whenever I see cops, I get extra paranoid. So I grab the remainder of our blow, and I run to his bathroom. I never even considered that the cops could be there for anything else except for the fact that his mom must have called them, which means that they're definitely coming in. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, I have to flush all this shit right now. I took the plate that Kyle had his line on, and I took my hand and I scooped the blow off the rest of the table onto that plate, and I took the bag and I ran into the bathroom with it, and I'm kneeling over the toilet and I'm shaking the bag. I'm dumping all of it, and I say all of it like it was a ton. It was a little over a gram left at this point, maybe. No, maybe a little less. Maybe a little less. I showed up with like probably 2 grams, and we were pretty fucking geeked at this point. So maybe a little less, I'd say. But either way, I'm dumping this blow into the toilet frantically. I'm freaking the fuck out. And I hear Sam downstairs very faintly, and he's just kind of calmly talking to him. And he's like, yeah, like, we're sorry, you know, like, we'll keep it down, all that. And I'm not really processing what he's saying. I'm just focused on dumping this shit down the toilet, right? But I don't want to flush the toilet yet because I'm paranoid, and I'm sitting here tweaking. I'm thinking, like, dude, the cops going to hear me flush it and kick the door in, bro. They're going to know I'm flushing drugs. Like, we're all going to jail, dude. Like, they're gonna swab my nose. Like, this is fucked, you know? So I'm sitting there, now I'm tweaking. And finally, I hear the door close again. And I hear Sam walk back up the stairs, and I come back out of the bathroom. And I'm like, Sam, like, what the fuck happened? Like, you're coming up the stairs alone? He's like, yeah, dude. It was a noise complaint. I guess our music was too loud. Like, the neighbor said something. And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, no fucking way. Kyle realizes what I just did, and he's looking at me with the most horrified, just mortified look on his face. And Sam has no clue what I've just done. So I tell Sam, I'm like, dude, I just flushed all the blow because I thought your mom called 12. And he just started fucking laughing his ass off about it, dude. He just started geeking over it. And I'm like, Sam, this isn't funny, dude. We're all addicted to cocaine. And quickly, maybe 10 minutes later, he realized it's not funny anymore, but he asked for a line. And I had to remind him that, yeah, we're out of that shit. So we turned our music down after that, and we chilled for the rest of the night. And eventually, Alicia got there, right? Alicia comes through almost right after the cops left. The cops were there for like literally a minute, not even, like 2 minutes, dude, tops. All they said were like, hey, we got a complaint, keep the noise down, and they just left. Sam was like, okay, and they just left. So Alicia gets there, and she pulls up, and she brings a friend of hers who, I don't remember what this guy's name was. We'll call him Daniel, right? She pulls up with Daniel, and I'd never met Daniel. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this was like the only time I'd ever met this guy. So who gives a fuck about Daniel? He's never going to be relevant in a story again, right? But either way, she comes with Daniel. And Sam is not happy that she came with another guy. All right, Sam's a great friend of mine, cool guy, but he gets a little weird around women sometimes. And he's like pissed that she came with another guy. And I'm like, dude, what? She needed a ride. Like, how else is she going to get here? And he's like, dude, like, what if they're fucking already? And I'm like, Sam, like, I really think you're actually being insane right now. And even if they are, why does it matter? You're not dating her. like, what relevance does it have? You know? And he's sitting there and he's like, fuck. But the rest of the night was much more calm after that because we'd flushed all the blow. And I was going to try to get some money together, but Kyle and I were the only ones who had more money for blow, right? Sam said he had money, but of course he didn't. And Alicia and Daniel weren't really trying to throw for any. So it was just Kyle and I who had a little bit of money for blow. We only got another gram because we just took an L on about a gram, give or take, down the toilet. But we got another gram and we had some good drinks and kicked it at Sam's house for pretty much the entire night. It was a fantastic evening. But listen, man, I just want to share that quick little story, dude. I have so many stories of his mom coming on the camera crazy. She's come home quite a few times after yelling on the camera. It's gotten hectic. But let me know if you guys like this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, gamers.